I don't know about you, but I don't believe in coincidences. I think that is a human word that we've created to try to understand why certain things happen. But given that idea, I want you to think about the chances of you actually seeing a video like this. I'm just a random 31-year-old guy living in the UK, and my video has ended up in your lap. So I feel like there's an important message that you need to know that I'm about to share with you today. As many of my subscribers know, I'm a meditation and spiritual teacher, and sometimes I just feel inspired to share something. Generally speaking, I will look for a sign, or I will ask inwardly the divine to teach me what I need to share and pass on. And it came quite clearly that what I'm about to express to you in this video is what you need to hear right now. My teachings, the way I at least put it forward, are very simple. I try to keep things simple. Think back I'm going to tell you a story which will illustrate what I'm about to share with you. Think back to when you first passed your driving test. Maybe it wasn't even your driving test. Maybe it was your high school exams or your GCSEs if you're in the UK. And think about the amount of thought, the amount of time, and the amount of effort that went into hopefully the success of either one of those things. So maybe it was passing your driving test. When you first start, you barely know what the pedals are. You have to sit in there, you have to learn what each of the pedals does. You have to understand the gears, at what speed you need to change into the next gear. You become accustomed to the sound of the vehicle. You have to understand all of the different signs, the road signs, the speeds at which you should be traveling at different parts or different types of roads. All of that is unknown to you. But through the process of you perhaps booking 10 or 20 driving lessons and not making that time, but turning up and actually going through the process of sitting in the car, of trying to get the biting point, you could not understand how to drive a car without stalling if you did not get in the car and stall it 30, 40, 50 times over and over and over again. You go through that process of stalling, of jumping down the road like a kangaroo, until you get to the point where you get it. And no one can really manufacture that point at which that happens, but pretty much everyone knows that if they go through that process of failing enough times, they will get to that point of that smooth transition, that ability to just drive without thinking about it. 5 years on, you don't even consider what speed it is. You're just shifting through the gears and pulling off and stopping and understanding how to drive, hopefully, with ease. It's not something that's a forefront kind of process. It's a subconscious process. But what I'm hoping to bring up by bringing up this idea is that you had to go through a significant amount of practice. You had to put in a significant amount of practice in order to gain the freedom that the car provides you with. So the fact that you went through 10 lessons or 20 lessons with the driving instructor, an hour or 2 hours each time, and you got to the point where you could drive comfortably, and then you did a test, and you may have done 2, 3, 4 tests, and you passed the test eventually, and that car then gives you the freedom to explore basically anywhere in the world, right? To some extent. So all of that freedom came about through the effort that you put in to begin with. That would not have been possible if you read 100 books on how to drive, or you listened to 20 different podcasts on how to drive, how to get the perfect biting point. You would not have been able to do it until you got in that car and made the time and went through the lessons and went through the failures and actually did it. You wouldn't have been able to get to the point where you could drive, hopefully, fairly safely and fairly smoothly. Spirituality is very much the same. I think with the advent of amazing facilities like YouTube or platforms like YouTube, Places like my online school where people can come and be part of a community and share their experiences and ask questions and listen to podcasts. We've got so much within our fingertips in terms of knowledge and understanding things. But until we apply ourselves in sacred acts, we will never create sacred, beautiful experiences and become kind of sacred ourselves. We want to live a sacred life and have these beautiful, sacred experiences and feel deeply connected with the divine or whatever you personally believe in. That's never ever going to come about unless you do the actions that create it. And we all have to be reminded of this simple truth from time to time, that no matter how many books we read, no matter how many podcasts we listen to, no matter how many friends we make in the spiritual space, until we apply ourselves each day, until we look at our day and say, that morning is now dedicated, or my mornings are now dedicated towards developing this sacred part of myself, towards developing and nourishing my spiritual side. And until we start applying ourselves, genuinely applying ourselves, not talking about applying ourselves, not reading books about applying ourselves, but genuinely start to make time every day to say to ourselves, right, this phone, after 7 p.m. I'm not touching it, or until 9 a.m. I'm not touching it. I'm spending my morning in stillness. I'm spending my morning doing some meditation, repeating a mantra. I'm going to offer everything that I experience up to the divine. I'm going to talk to the divine in my mind. Until we start applying ourselves like this, the beautiful experiences that we want, the beautiful sense of love and divine connection that we're all seeking, knowingly or unknowingly, will not come about. It will not manifest until we start doing the work. So if you're listening to this now, and I hope I don't come across too abrupt and too rude, this is a gentle push for you to look at your lifestyle at the moment and honestly ask yourself, how much time am I spending on my phone? How much time am I spending on YouTube or these other platforms? Could I develop this habit more of meditating? Someone put a great reel up on Instagram the other day. Ironically, me talking about Instagram when I'm telling you not to. we all use these platforms. It's not the fact that you use them, it's the amount that we use them. But she did this amazing reel where she said, imagine if you used your phone. Imagine if you read the Bhagavad Gita the same amount of times that you looked at your phone. And she did a great reel where she woke up in the morning and picked up the Bhagavad Gita rather than her phone. She was showing her friends things in the Bhagavad Gita, like you would show your friends something funny that you've seen on your phone. She'd go to the toilet and she had the Bhagavad Gita in her lap. It was all these kinds of things, and it was amazing. And it was so true. We use this is our Bible or our Gita or our Torah, depending on what religion you may follow, or if you don't follow a religion, that's a saint that you really like. So the more we can apply ourselves practically and genuinely apply ourselves, this is where the real growth starts to happen. And hopefully this video here today will be a motivator to you. If you need help with that, if you need help with learning the tools to apply to your life, to learning more about meditation, to being part of a community that has live classes and courses and things where you can apply yourself, I have an online school, which is the link to which is down in the description. So that is an avenue. If you are looking for an avenue, that is an avenue where you can learn a bit more and apply yourself a bit more. But failing that, I will leave it at that for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next video.